Hey, it's Michael here from EduKits. Today we're going to be building a website from scratch. I'm going to be taking you through the process step by step, but we're not going to be using one of those drag and drop web editors, web builders like WordPress, Wix, Weebly, Webflow, or Squarespace. No, we're going to be building this using code. You're going to be using your keyboard to type in different bits of code to create a website with a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of style, and a few things jumping out at you. This is going to be a very short kind of walkthrough. I'm going to do it in one take. You'll see a few mistakes there because it is one take, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. And this is the type of coding I learnt when I was young, and I think it's just time to get started. So you can see on my screen right here, I have a file window, and I also have a website, a web browser with a single tab here. No website loaded. This is where we're starting from. The first thing I want you to do is, if you're on Windows, open an app called Notepad. Or if you're on Macintosh, you can open an app called TextEdit. And I'll open both of these because I have both of them open. So we have Notepad here, and this is the Windows app. And for Mac, we can open TextEdit. Here we go. TextEdit's open. And you can see, I'm just going to type some text in here. Hello world. You can see that it's kind of popped up in this typewriter font. There's no formatting, no font selection, no highlighting. I can't select a color. This is how people used to build websites. Now here on Mac, if I type in hello world, you can see that it's, I can actually change the font here. We don't want that. This is not going to work for code. So to fix this on a Mac, you press Shift, Command, and T, and bam, we're exactly like Notepad. Same ground here. I'm going to close this though because Notepad's actually what I learned to code on. So we'll just use this. So we've got some hello world text, and it's time to save. Time to save this and load this in the web browser. It's as easy as that. We have some text. I'm going to click this website folder, which is where I'll be saving the files for this project. I'm going to select all files because we're not making a text document. And I'm going to type in web page and then a dot and an HTML. And that HTML is the file extension. So when we have a dot at the end of a file name and some letters afterwards, it tells the computer what type of file this is. And HTML is actually a web page file. In the same way that a .txt is a text file. So I'm going to click save, and that will save to the computer. And if I move over to the folder view, you can see that I now have this web page file. And that web page file has a Microsoft Edge logo on it. And that means that I can open it in a web browser. So I will drag and drop that onto my web browser, and you can see a new tab opens and it says Hello World. That was the text we had in here. Now, that's not impressive at all. Like, we typed in some text and it appeared in our browser because we dragged and dropped it in there. Like, you can do that with a PDF. So let's do something more exciting. Let's change the title up here where it says webpage.html. Let's put in a title. Now, you'd think that all we need to do is rename the file, and that's true, but we can actually have a totally different name. Now, if you go to a website like Google, for example, Google.com, it doesn't say Google.com in the top of the browser tab. It says something else, generally like Google Australia or something. So it's not always the file name. In fact, it's almost never the file name, and that's because they use code. So I want you to type in 2 angle brackets. Now, you can find these by pressing Shift and comma, and then Shift and full stop, or you may call it a period if you're in the United States. And I want you to bring in 2 more of those. So now we have these 2 cute little sets of angle brackets, and then I'm going to stick a / in the second set. Now, I'm then going to type in title into the first one, and after the / in the second one, I'm going to type in title again. So we have a title and then a little /title. Now, these 2 things, I'm going to put a space in between them so they're separated. these two sets of kind of words, you might call them at the moment, because we're not talking in coding sense yet, they're known as tags. And if you think about a tag on a clothing item, it tells you how much that item of clothing is. It also has other things on it, like whether or not that clothing's made of cotton, whether it's flammable, that kind of thing. And the tag really just contains all the information about the clothes. And that's the same here in HTML, which is the kind of code we're using right now, web page coding. When I have the title tag, it tells us what's going to be in the title. So I can type in between these middle two angle brackets. They kind of point together, looking like, a grrr, angry eye face. I'm going to type in the title, which is my first web page. You can go File and Save to save that, or you can press Control S on your keyboard. I'll refresh that web page, and you can see now it says My First Web Page in the title bar. That's pretty cool, but there are some more tags we can use to spice things up here, because Hello World in just a normal font is pretty yuck, and I don't like that font right there. So I'm going to add another tag. So get those angle brackets out again. We'll stick a / over here, and I'm going to type in H1. H1 there again. Brilliant. And we'll type in welcome to my web page. Oop, I cannot type or spell today. I've saved that, I've refreshed it, and now we have a really big title on our page here. Still in a disgusting font, but nicer than it was before. And there's some other different tags we can use as well, like the paragraph tag. Now, this is actually going to do nothing. I've typed in a P and a little /P. Oop. Over here, and so it's essentially like enclosing the hello world, and you'll see as I refresh it does nothing. But still cool to use that, and we'll add a button. So that will say click me, and see how I'm essentially encapsulating the text with these little tags. So all you have to do to create a tag is you have that opening, so the left facing angle bracket, the rightward facing angle bracket, and you write the name of it, the type of the tag, and then you just need a closing one, which is the exact same one as the opening one, just with a /. So we've created a title, we've got a paragraph and a button, which does nothing when you click it. That's pretty boring, but that's essentially a web page. But I said we're creating a website. So it's time to create a second web page. So I'm going to click File and New Window. So now we have two text documents open at once. Now, I'm actually going to copy this entire website by pressing Control-C and Control-V, and I'm going to create, say, my second web page. Welcome to my second web page. Hello World. Okay, so now we have those two kind of web pages there. I'm going to remove the Click Me button, and I will go File, Save As, and we'll go into Website and All Files, and I'll go page2.html, and make sure you select that All Files button in the drop-down. Okay, so we've got Hello World in there, and you can see page 2. So I'll just quickly drag that into our web browser right now, and you can see, welcome to my second web page. So we've got those two web pages kind of there. Now close out of this one, and we'll go back to our text documents here. I'm going to add a link between the two, and that's made with an anchor tag, which we write A for short. So we've got an A and a /A. I'm going to type in between these, page will go to page 2. So we've got that first one, and I'll copy that to the second one, except we'll say go to page 1. Okay. Now, if I refresh this and then go in here, there's the text, brilliant, but I can't click on it. See, I can't click on it. Okay, so what do I need to do? Well, I need to tell it where to go because, well, I mean, how's it going to know that we want to go to page 2? I've typed in page 2, but nothing more than that. The computer's not as smart as us. We think, page 2. Well, we've got a page 2. No, it doesn't know how to do that. So we need to tell it. So type in href. That's just essentially a fancy way of saying where we're going. And I want you to type in page2.html. Now, if you named your page to something different, you want to type in that file name exactly. So I've got page 2, and I can just copy and paste this code over to the other side into our second anchor tag. And this time I'll say web page. And this is the name of our second page. So I've saved this one, saved the other one. I'll refresh now, and now we have a link. And you can tell it's a link because it has an underline, and I can click on it and it takes me to my second one. I can click on this link here and it takes me back to my first one. I think that's pretty cool. We've got 2 working pages here. So technically, together we've just created a website. This might be your very first website. So congratulations if that's the case for you. But that's still boring. We need something to happen beyond just moving pages. Anyone can make pages move. We want something to happen if we click that click me button. So let's make something happen. We've used some different attributes so far. We've used I'll close this second page and I'll focus on the first one. We've used we've only used this destination attribute here. You can add additional stuff to a tag. In between the tag, you have the text that's displayed. You could also add things like scripts, which you don't have to know what that means just yet. But a script runs some special fancy code that makes something exciting happen. So essentially, we're going to use a script to control what happens when we click the button. Under this button, I'm going to type in on click. So we're saying what's going to happen when we click this. We'll add an equals and 2 double quotation marks. And I'm going to type in alert, add 2 parentheses, 2 single quotation marks, and hi. Now, I know that was a lot of letters and a lot of symbols and things. Just remember we've got on click, an equals sign, an opening and a closing double quotation mark, alert, an opening and closing parenthesis, set of parentheses, and an opening and closing single quotation mark. Okay, I'll refresh that. Let's refresh the website and click the click me button. And we have hi. So that was a lot of work for the web page to say hi when you click the button. Now you can change this text to whatever you want. So hello. I've clicked it. It says hello. That's pretty cool. Now you can also get this to do maths for you, maths equations. So I'll type in 2 + 2. If I refresh, you can see 4. Now notice that I took away the single quotation marks, and that means it's actually going to compute whatever I type in there. So before I was saying the single quotation marks, it was just saying computer, just whatever I type in here, just display it. Don't think about it. So if I stick single quotation mark here, another one here, and I refresh it, see how it says 2 + 2 and it doesn't say 4? That single quotation mark means the computer just doesn't think about it. Now, here's another one. I can type in prompt. So I've deleted the alert and I've typed in prompt. We've got those 2 single quotation marks, and I will type in, enter your name. So I've refreshed the page now, click on the button and it says enter your name. I'm going to enter Michael because that's my name. And nothing happens. And that's because, well, it's just a prompt. So I'm going to put an alert around this. So what this means is we're going to prompt for a value and then we're going to alert that value. You don't have to understand what's about to happen. I'll just show you. So the prompt is going to, so it's prompting for a name. I've entered my name, and then the alert is then sending back that name. Now, if you remember, we can use single quotation marks to put a message there. So I'm going to put single quotation marks and a plus, which means we're going to take the, whatever I put in those quotation marks, and then we're going to add whatever the prompt value is. So we'll put a message and then add my name on the end, like that. In those single quotation marks, I'm going to say, nice to meet you, comma. Okay. Refresh, click me, enter your name. So I'll enter Michael. Okay, and it says, nice to meet you, Michael. Now, the last thing I want to do before we finish up is to add a little bit of style, a little bit of pizzazz to this web page, because it is looking pretty bland right now. Let's do some color, and I reckon let's do some font too. So on the heading, let's change its color to red. If you remember, we added this on-click attribute down here, and we'll do something similar, but say style equals, and we can add those 2 double quotation marks, and we'll go in color, make sure to spell it O-R, not O-U-R. I mean, O-U-R is still a better way of spelling it, but this is revolving around Americans. Okay, color red. So we've got a color that's red. Now I'm going to copy this style and we'll paste it over here to the paragraph. And this time we're going to change it to font. So instead of color, we'll have font. And this is going to change our font from ugly Times New Roman to something else. So I'll say 18 pixels, 18px, no space there, Arial. If I save the document and refresh, you can see it's changed it. I can make it go even bigger. Let's say 28. Refresh. Wow, it's big now. So now we've changed the color, we've changed the font. And you know what? I actually want to have this font over with the other one. So we've got one property in this attribute. I can add a semicolon here and we can paste in the next one. So we can talk about the color and set the font at the same time. Here we go. So we've got some different text. Now, it should still be, the heading should still be bigger. Let's make it 48. I love big text. Oh, that's fantastic. Massive, massive text right now. Brilliant. Well, that brings our kind of build a web page session to a close. I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, websites on the internet are a bit more advanced than this, and you're not going to be able to, share this with your friends with a special web address or anything. But this is the basics on how to build a website with simple code and using the tools that are installed on your computer. Didn't have to install anything else, didn't have to install a web browser. And if you're looking for more on this, there's heaps of tutorials out there on the internet. I don't think we have any on EduKits at the moment, but all you need to type in is, learning to code with HTML or coding for the web or something like that. So I hope to see you back again on EduKits. Feel free to leave a comment below. Otherwise, have a fantastic day.